sketchbook tour of my high school sketchbooks. The majority of these are from after I got rejected from an art school, so this will be fun. I'm gonna go through these as fast as I possibly can. I think 3 of them are from high school, so maybe the other one will be in another video, but these are all Strathmore watercolor sketchbooks. I really like them, though some of them are doing a little bit worse for wear. They're falling apart just a little bit, but they are a little bit old, so. All right, okay, gotta love that. Here we go, starting with the oldest one. I don't have most of my super old sketchbooks because I was constantly ripping stuff out of them, so that's unfortunate, but it's just how it is. So I like to do collage pages for my first and last pages to kind of just let loose and cover them. And also most of the time they are not suitable for watercolor, so I can't paint on them or anything, so I might as well just do something I want to do. This is 2020 11/25. These are both watercolor. This is watercolor. This is gouache. I don't know what's going on here. That's what's going on here. So I did not like how this one was turning out. I kept trying to fix it, and then I went over with gouache, and I'm like, I'm just giving up because I still don't really know how gouache works. I need to work on it. I need to practice, but I will do that eventually. Okay, I called this abstract faces. These are not abstract. These are just exaggerated, but I like these a lot. Basically, I was trying to get better at drawing from imagination, and so I would just doodle these, covering the entire page. And also, in one memorable occasion, someone asked me to draw him, and I didn't like the guy very much, so I drew him like this. I don't remember how he reacted, but I did indeed show it to him. I was something in high school, that's for sure. This is like the blob thing where you like do paint blobs and then you try to turn them into an object with pen. I think these are jelly roll pens. Watercolor and pen all over this page. I was trying to do more drawing from life. I called this a weirder hand, but that looks really good. Weird hand, that looks really good. Random stuff / no sketch. So yeah, that's all ink with no pencil. Pen and water, so that's what this is. These are from observation, except this guy. This was just kind of random. Okay. I was experimenting with copying other drawings that I was seeing online in art styles, and it's just not for me. I've never been into like super like stylizing stuff like that. This is a self-portrait. I don't know why I called it a redraw. I don't remember. These are real dried flowers, and these are stickers. This is watercolor and colored pencil. And then in person, side profile, and pen. These are from my classes. I know it's kind of weird to do this, but I would just draw my classmates. Probably why they thought I was weird. But a couple of these 2 in particular actually really look like the person. I don't remember anyone's names, but I remember they were pretty accurate. So, you know, that's pretty cool. These however, are not accurate. I don't know why I said this was in real life. I don't think it was. I think these are from a picture. This is sad. This is from COVID. Can't really do live models anymore. I don't get to go anywhere. So that's unfortunate. But yeah, this was more photo practice from photo references. Like you can tell I wasn't super knowledgeable on the anatomy of a face at this time because of the skewedness of that. But I kind of like it. Actually, look at that ear. That's not right. But again, I did not know most of what I know now being in college for art. These exaggerated faces. I don't like this page as much as the other one, honestly, even though this one came later. I feel like the composition of the other one was really nice. I didn't do it on purpose, but I like this a lot better. It's a lot more packed than this one. Fugler, because why wouldn't I? I'm looking at that Fugler right now. I still have it. This is a house. I was trying to see how I could do, like, you know, architectural sketches. I'm not super into that kind of stuff still, but I was like, maybe I should try this. I don't know. I'm still not a huge fan. Watercolor and pencil. Watercolor and colored pencil. This is another self-portrait, but these are both from photo reference. And more trying to copy comics. Don't even talk about that anatomy. I don't know what's going on there. I burnt this one, and that's kind of cool. There's a lot of flowers on this page. I didn't like most of what I had down, so I was covering it. This is from freshman year of high school, and I actually still think this is pretty cool. That shadow is not correct, but just doing that with watercolor on a cheap piece of watercolor paper, that's kind of cool. Little Nightmares scratch off page. Attempting to draw myself in the Gorillaz art style, I think. More watercolor, 6 Little Nightmares. This is getting into 2022, so this is a while later. I know I didn't draw from like 2021 to 2022 because I got rejected from an art school, and I was like, I don't know, I don't think I could do this anymore. But now this is where I'm at. So this is, I think, watercolor and maybe a little bit of gouache. I was gonna do like a ballroom scene here from imagination. That's incredibly ambitious, and I never ended up doing it because of that. It was gonna have all these paintings on the wall, and it was gonna be crazy, but then I was like, how am I gonna do this? So I didn't. Let's see. More scratch off page, some watercolor, and I think ink on this side. This was from a mirror. This was a self-portrait in a mirror, and I actually still really like this one. I feel like I got it very accurate. The eyes are too big, but it still, like, it looks like how I used to look, so that's pretty cool. This was from, I think, partially from memory. It's of a Hannibal from the TV show. And then I did the front face, and I was like, wait, that looks like Hannibal, so I'm gonna draw Will behind him. So I found a reference for that. Figure studies. This is watercolor. I still really like this one. These were from photo reference, I'm pretty sure. I don't know what used to be under this, but I definitely didn't like it because it's been completely covered up. More figure studies, and that is it for this one. And that one was 2022. That's longer than I usually go between sketchbooks. It used to take me about a year, and I went a year without drawing in that time span, so yeah. Here's my next one. I started making stickers of my interests. So we got Skelly from I Spy Spooky Mansion, the video game, Good Omens, Our Flag Means Death, Coraline, Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare, Magnus Archives, Stanley Parable, and then that was my little persona. So I can't show these collage pages because they have like plane tickets and stuff on them. So these are all business cards I got in orders and stuff like that, and then my colors that I used to really like with watercolor, I would put them in here so I could remember what they were called. I still really like Delft Blue. That's like one of my favorite blues. So here we go. This one has like some shiny stuff going on. I remember I was matching it to these two flowers. These are real. And I wanted to make characters based off of them. So I like this one. I think that it's pretty cool. This one, I just didn't like the face, so I decided to add a strip of paper over it and like do a skeleton, which is not very anatomically correct, but it looks cool. So, and I think this whole one was just to kind of experiment with my new fan brush. So I don't really use the fan brush much anymore. I was like, maybe I can use it for hair, but then it didn't really look right, so I was just like, nah. So yeah, practicing hair. As you can see, I had my reference artist here, Dory Why Not. Their art is insane. They do primarily watercolor, and I look up to them so much. Their work is absolutely stunning, especially the way that they render hair. Like, they go into such detail, it's crazy. I highly recommend checking out their stuff. They're still actively making art. They're going strong, and they also have a lot of similar interests to me when it comes to media, so that's just a plus. So this was kind of trying to apply everything I was practicing over here, but without color. I'm pretty sure it was not referenced, so I kind of just pulled this out of nowhere and just tried to make it look right. I didn't have much knowledge on figures at that time. This is technically unfinished. I was so, again, when I get too ambitious, or what, at least this is how it used to be, when I got too ambitious with a sketch, I never finished it because I was so worried about messing it up. This is based off of, I don't remember what the painting is called, but it was like two people getting pulled apart by their hair, except I made it two women because of course. But I really liked the sketch and I didn't want to mess it up, so I just kind of, I abandoned it, which is not what you should do, but it's what I did. More hair practice. This is a similar concept to that last one. I don't really know what I was doing with the color there. Facial expression test. This is 2022. I still kind of like this one. This is, I think, from a photo, but it is a self-portrait. I was on vacation when I did these pages. I remember that. This was from life at a little cafe near where we were staying. Again, I'm not super into like city sketching. I'm more into like figures and that kind of stuff, but I do need to practice more. This was an attempt at stylizing a reference photo of myself. I like the simplicity on this one. It was another hair thing, and I was planning on painting it, but then I was like, you know what, I kind of like it how it is. This is watercolor and colored pencil. Also a self-portrait. I don't think I ever fully finished it. The anatomy was wrong. The face was too pulled this way, so I was like, you know what, I'll just make it literally being pulled that way. And you know what? Sure. These are real rose petals. They're very soft. Lots of hair. I was into trying to figure out how like hair moves and that kind of stuff at this time. And then, as you can see, more of that. This one was no sketch. I was kind of just painting, and then I went over it with colored pencil. This was just for fun, but I like how it turned out. More hair. This was inspired, I think, by Julia Jane Martin's and the way that they would put animal heads on human figures. This is a reference photo of me, and then I just put a crow head on it. I don't think I ever finished that one, unfortunately. Here's me trying to stylize a reference photo of myself, yet again. I like this one. This is a watercolor and colored pencil, and then little stickers with color notes. I don't think I ever finished it, though. Self-portrait. I used masking fluid, and it kind of messed up, because I had it in too broad of areas, as you can see. But it's watercolor and colored pencil, as usual. I don't know if I did a pencil sketch. I think I just might have done colored pencil for that one. This one, watercolor, I think, only, and I started my masking fluid messed up right here and messed up my paper, so sad. I covered something up here. I don't know what it was, but these I think might have been from life. Yeah, they were. That's pretty cool. As you can see here, the sketchbook is not holding up super well. It hasn't completely broken though, so I like the paper, and so I continue to use these. More hair and lots of color. Yes. This one was, I think, marker, so I couldn't get the values that I wanted with the marker, so it just did not turn out right. I was trying to practice like lighting that was 2 different shades, but it did not work. So this one, I don't know what was going on here. I should have probably kept going with it because these colors are very muddy, but whatever. This is a very different style to my usual stuff. I think I was just trying something new. I like this one. I Am Real and You Are Not. That's, I think, a reference to a song that I found on TikTok. Let's see. This was from observation. These two, I was on vacation for these as well, I remember, so I didn't have all my supplies. This is like a man in the moon. I don't know what's going on there. The anatomy on this face is very wrong. I forgot my upper eyelids, and so that's, I think, the main thing. Also, what is that ear? I did not know how ears worked, and you can tell as I cropped it out of this one. More of those faces that I used to do a lot of, but like, I don't know, a little bit different. They're all photo reference, just they've started kind of rubbing away, unfortunately, because I didn't protect the graphite. This is watercolor and colored pencil. This is watercolor. I never finished it. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. These, I think I put the colors down first and then I sketched over them. I never finished that one because he looks kind of scary. This was an attempt to match colors from a photo reference, and I think I just went way too dark. Here's my dog. He's beautiful. I can draw him better now, though. Someone who I was friends with, and it was, I think, a practice sketch or something. I covered whatever this is, because I didn't like it. I like these two. They're not super anatomically correct, but they weren't from reference, they were just for fun, and I wanted to practice some stuff with colors. So, that's cool. I never finished this one, but I kind of like how it looks right now. I was not doing like any wet on wet in this one, which I wasn't super knowledgeable about the actual watercolor techniques. Like I knew what they were in theory, but I didn't use them the same way I use them now. So I like this one, but I could have taken it further. These are cut out from, I'm pretty sure, my school notes. But there's the end of this one. Thanks for watching my trip down memory lane with these sketchbooks. They're not like too old. I'm in college right now for art, but I took a gap year, so it's my second year of college. It's been 3 or 4 years since I did most of these sketchbooks. I like to think that I've improved a lot since doing these. But yeah, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, subscribe. I'm hoping to start posting more often, hopefully. School's been kind of crazy lately. I'm doing 2 minors, art history and business, and so I have to take the maximum amount of credits that is allowed for the rest of my time at school, so it's a lot, but hopefully I'll be able to post a little bit more once it's summer. Bye-bye.